And it's time to hit it on the spot here on Pulse. I am Gary Al Smith, and today an important event happened here in Accra. At the Alisa Hotel, the Ghana Football Association held its extraordinary congress. That was this morning. And at this congress, GFA boss Kwesi Nyantakyi announced something very, very important. The 2016-2017 Ghana Premier League season kicks off on February the 4th. Joy Sports editor Nathaniel Atto was at this congress, the extraordinary congress, and he spoke with the CEO of Tema Youth, Winfred Osei, the CEO of WA All Stars, Odro Nyako, and the GFA president himself, Kwesi Nyantakyi. After that, we come and wrap it up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Winfred Osei. He's known in football circles as Palmer. Now, one of the amendments that really interests me is that one that redefines who a foreign player is, and now it's been opened up to non-West African players. Now, it just means effectively that most of you're able to play more non-Ghanaian players in a game. Does that come as welcome news to you, the club owners?
Yeah, I should think so, in the sense that anything that will make them globally competitive is what we have to seek for. Other countries that have practiced this, we all know the level of their game. And if, for that matter, Ghana should imbibe that kind of regulations and make amendments to that effect, I think it's in order. We also have the ECOWAS protocol to contend with. And if this day and age we still consider our ECOWAS brothers as foreign nationals, I don't think it's in the right perspective. So the framers of the statutes and the regulations deemed it fit to classify ECOWAS members as similarly Ghanaians, so as to allow them to earn their let me say, eating rights or economic rights in Ghana. And that's exactly what the regulation has done.
All right, what about the few people? I know that it's past and gone now, but what about the few people who will also talk about opportunities for our own, players, here in the league, our own players that we grow here in the league?
Nathaniel, what you have to bear in mind is that if you consider the fact that we have about 16 Premiership clubs and 48 Division 1 clubs, if you add the numbers, we are talking about 64. When you multiply it by even 30, you are hitting around 1,800. In Ghana, I don't think we will have that level of quality of players up to that tune. So when we bring the foreign nationals or the ECOWAS members, it brings competition into our game. And this is when you will be able to bring on board those of a certain depth and quality. So it adds up value to the game. If you cast your mind back, when we had Mobe Wake and all those things in Ashgood, it brought the level of competition up to a certain stage. And that is exactly what we want to bring on board. What you have to bear in mind is that if the foreign nationals are of a certain quality and substance, it adds value to our game. And that is what we should all seek to advance, rather than to glue ourselves to the fact that so far as the person is a Ghanaian, that person will have to be allowed to play. Mind you, you cannot feature more than 5 in a game, which means that the 6 slots are still for Ghanaians, and we can tinker with that as and when we move along.
So there was a little bit as well about, a supposed 20-club league. It didn't even come up in the agenda as per what I've observed so far.
That was to a certain effect, that there was a pendency of a case between Dreams FC and Tema Youth. That issue has been resolved. So wherein lies the relevance of introducing that 18-club league. At that material moment that we're even considering it, some felt it was an affront to the opposed committee, and within that contest, we had to shelve this for the future. And Nathaniel, about 7 solid reasons were advanced to debunk that idea of bringing on board 18-club league or 20-club league. And to the spirit and letter, we have all admitted to the fact that the league should be in this form and norm. and that is exactly what we are going to pursue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oduro Nyarko, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you and Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
All right. Now, of the few amendments that were made, a few of them thrown out, which of them would you say stood out for you the most?
I think the one for the registration of non-Ghanaians. You see, we want to widen the scope of registration, and we sought to differentiate between clubs, players who come from West Africa as against those who come from other parts of Africa. And we are giving the non-sealing, we are not sealing players that are coming from West Africa, but we are giving a ceiling to those who are coming from elsewhere, I mean Northern, Central, Southern, and Eastern Africa. And I think I'm happy for the prominence given to our fellow West African countries.
Thank you very much. That was the CEO of WA All Stars Football Club. I will be trying to just get quick thoughts from the president of the Ghana Football Association. Everybody's supposed to be going for lunch, but we'll try our best and see if we can quickly grab him for brief thoughts before he gets off here. And Happy New Year to you. Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Mr. President. Thank you very much for joining us. This is a little barging, but you'll have to forgive us. You know, a few amendments have been made, a few thrown out. I've been speaking to some of the club CEOs. What for you as head of the FA and as somebody who's been involved in football has stood out in terms of what has been amended here today, of all you know, the general rules that have been amended?
I think we considered 4 or 5 proposals for amendment. The one that seeks to create a wider opportunity and benefit regime for clubs is allowing non-Ghanaian ECOWAS players, more of them, to play. So that will generate more interest in the league. It will bring in more players from the sub-region, especially our sub-regional group, ECOWAS. And that it will enhance the value of the league. It will strengthen the squads of the various participating clubs and create generally a sense of excitement and competition for the league. So clubs now can bring players from Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, and so forth and so on. And we have various variations of this practice in various jurisdictions, in Asia, in Europe, in South America, Oceania, and so forth and so on. But this is our version, and I think it is born out of the experiences of a few clubs, and we think that eventually it will inure to the benefit of the clubs.
All right. Now, we're also looking forward to, you know, the start of the new season. I know that this is something that has not necessarily been discussed here, but, you know, what should, because that is something that the generality of the football fraternity away from, you know, Congress has been really looking forward to. Any word on that?
In my address, I indicated that the Champion of Champions League game between WA All Stars and Bechem United will be played on the 22nd of January in Tamale. Then 28 and 29 will play the gala. Then on 3rd of February, the Division 1 League starts. Then the 4th of February, the Premier League starts. And so this is the program for the season. The rest of the details will be provided by the PLB and the Division 1 League Board. And this will be contained in the fixtures that will be announced later on.
Nathaniel Atto, editor of the Joy Sports team, speaking to some stakeholders. The last of them was Kwesi Nyantakyi. He also heard from Oduro Nyarko and Tamayu's Wilfred Osei. So that's the sport for now. Very important legislation expanding the definition of foreign players, meaning that Ghana can have more talent from across the sub-region in West Africa and even beyond in the local Premier League. Also, the Premier League begins in February, the beginning of February. And if it begins in the first week of February, meaning that the African Cup of Nations will end on the 5th, and we'll have more time to focus on our local league. That's the sport for now. I'll be back later tonight to bring you the latest on the African Cup of Nations. Egypt, who are in the same group with Ghana, have named their final 23-man squad. Mali have also named their final 23-man squad. We do the permutations as we wait for Avram Grant to do the same. At midnight today, Ghana must have sent its list to the Confederation of African Football. Which 3 players will be dropped? We'll be telling you that later tonight. I'm Gary Al Smith later.